Good morning, children. Today we are doing chapter number 3 that consists of 2 stories about flying. The first story is His First Flight by Liam O'Flaherty, and second story is Black Aeroplane by Frederick Forsyth. First story, His First Flight, is a beautiful story about seagull. A young seagull is afraid to fly. How does he conquer his fear? That we are going to read in this story. Children, the entire episode deals with the inhibitions and the fear of the seagull before the flight and the thrill and the joy experienced by him after the flight. The theme of self-belief and confidence brought through motivation is beautiful experience explored here. Now children, let's begin the story on page number 32. His first flight. The young seagull was alone on his ledge. His 2 brothers and his sister had already flown away the day before. He had been afraid to fly with them. Somehow, when he had taken a little run forward to brink of the ledge and attempted to flap his wings, he became afraid. The great expanse of sea stretched down beneath, and it was such a long way down, miles down. He felt certain that his wings would never support him. So he bent his head and ran away back to the little hole under the ledge where he slept at night. Even when each of his brothers and his little sister, whose wings were far shorter than his own, ran to the brink, flapped their wings and flew away. He failed to muster up courage to take that plunge which appeared to him so desperate. His father and mother had come around, calling to him shrilly, upbraiding him, threatening to let him starve on his ledge unless he flew away. But for the life of him, he could not move. So children, we are reading about a beautiful young seagull who was all alone on a narrow horizontal shelf that was there of a cliff and was afraid to fly. Even the younger brothers and sister, they were ready to fly. They had learned to fly. But this sweet young seagull was afraid to fly. The parents, they wanted this seagull to fly, and therefore they were calling. They were scolding sometimes the seagull, and they were threatening also that the seagull will not be able to get any food. But still the seagull was not ready to move. That was 24 hours ago. Since then nobody had come near him. The day before, all day long, he had watched his parents flying about with his brothers and sister, perfecting them in the art of flight, teaching them how to skim the waves and how to dive for fish. He had in fact seen his older brother catch his first herring and devour it. Standing on a rock while his parents circled around, raising a proud cackle, and all the morning the whole family had walked about on the big plateau midway down the opposite cliff, taunting him with his cowardice. The sun was now ascending the sky, blazing on his ledge that faced the south. He felt the heat because he had not eaten since the previous nightfall. He stepped slowly out to brink of the ledge and standing on one leg with the other leg hidden under his wing, he closed his one eye, then the other, and pretended to be falling asleep. Still, they took no notice of him. He saw his two brothers and his sister lying on the plateau, dozing with their heads sunk into their necks. His father was preening the feathers on his white back. Only his mother was looking at him. She was standing on a little high hump on the plateau, her white breast thrust forward. Now and again, she tore at a piece of fish that lay at her feet, and then scraped each side of her beak on the rock. The sight of the food maddened him. How he loved to tear food that way, scraping his beak now and again to wet it. So children, this seagull also was hungry, but the whole family was enjoying in flying. Even the younger brothers and sister. The parents were also very happy to find that their children were flying and they were able to catch fish for themselves. The younger brother was flying and had reached a spot. The parents were so happy they wanted to circle around the younger one, and they were enjoying. They were proudly cackling. But this beautiful seagull of ours was afraid to fly and was sitting all alone on the ledge and was looking at the mother who was eating the food. Ga, 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 he cried, begging her to bring him some food. Ga, gula, she screamed back derisively. But he kept calling plaintively, and after a minute or so, he uttered a joyful scream. His mother had picked up a piece of fish and was flying across to him with it. He leaned out eagerly, tapping the rock with his feet, trying to get nearer to her as she flew across. But when she was just opposite to him, she halted, her wings motionless. The piece of fish in her beak almost within reach of his beak, he waited a moment in surprise, wondering why she did not come nearer, and then, maddened by hunger, he dived at the fish. With a loud scream, he fell outward and downward into space. Then a monstrous terror seized him, and his heart stood still. He could hear nothing, but it only lasted a minute. The next moment he felt his wings spread outwards. The wind rushed against his breast feathers, then under his stomach and against his wings. He could feel the tips of his wings cutting through the air. He was not falling headlong now. He was soaring gradually downward and outwards. He was no longer afraid. He just felt a bit dizzy. Then he flapped his wings once and he soared upwards. Ga, 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 cool, ga. His mother swooped past him, her wings making a loud noise. He answered her with another scream. Then his father flew over him, screaming. He saw his two brothers and his sister flying around him, curveting and banking and soaring and diving. So the mother tempted the young seagull and wanted the young seagull of ours to fetch food for himself. So she took the fish in her beak and she tempted the young seagull to come forward and eat it. Our young seagull was afraid to fly, but what to do? As the mother was not giving him, therefore he had to. He had to go. And when he started to move forward, all the family members were excited and they turned around him, they flapping their wings, and everybody was leaping like a horse, flying with the wings higher than the others to see what their young brother was doing. Then he completely forgot that he had not always been able to fly, because our young seagull started to fly, children, and commended himself to dive and soar and curve, shrieking shrilly. He was near the sea now, flying straight over it, facing straight out over the ocean. He saw a vast green sea beneath him, with little ridges moving over it, and he turned his beak sideways and cawed amusedly. So he was cawing and he was very happy and he was finding the life to be very amusing. For the first time he had flied only because his mother had tempted him. His parents and his brothers and sister had landed on this green flooring ahead of him. They were beckoning to him, calling shrilly, "Come, come, come." Like this, he dropped his legs to stand on the green sea. His legs sank into it. He screamed with fright and attempted to rise again, flapping his wings. But he was tired and weak with hunger, and he could not rise, exhausted by the strange exercise. His feet sank into the green sea, and then his belly touched it and sank no farther. He was floating on it, and around him his family was screaming, praising him, and their beaks were offering him scraps of dogfish. He had made his first flight. So, children, we learn from this story that the young seagull was afraid to fly. He did not feel at all courageous to take the plunge because he lacked self-confidence. He believed that his wings would not support him and he would fall in the vast sea below if he took the plunge. But when the mother did not allow him even to have the food and wanted the young seagull to fly on his own like his brothers and sisters, she just tempted him and he started to fly. And only when he started to fly, he could enjoy the pleasure of flying. Initially, he was timid. He hesitated to accept the challenges. But then, when he came out and when he did it, he understood that it was very easy to do. But the only thing was that he was afraid to do it before.